What's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Leah, for those of y'all who don't know. Those of you who are returning, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like, honestly, I really do. So today, as you can tell from the title, we're going to have kind of a really deep talk here. I don't really talk about this. I've never really confided in anyone about this situation. But as I go back and I watch some of these videos, it's like a glaring problem to me. Like, it's making me real self-conscious. So I figured, why not just talk about it? So let's get into it. So I was born with a cleft lip, cleft palate, and basically what that is a split in your mouth. Cleft lip, obviously the split's in your lip. Cleft palate, it's at the roof of your mouth. Palate, for those y'all who don't know. I don't know why I'm tripping on my words. This is just really hard. Some people have a single cleft. Some people have a double cleft, which is on both sides of their lips. Some people only have a cleft lip, not a cleft palate. Some people have a cleft palate and not a cleft lip. The combinations are really endless. I guess I was lucky that I got a cleft lip, cleft palate in the same exact spot. Apparently it's something that you can see through an ultrasound, but throughout my mom's whole entire pregnancy, nobody told her, nobody notified her. I was just a surprise when I came out, and she noticed right away. Also, when I was born, they didn't give me a hospital picture. I guess they figured nobody wanted to see me with my lips split open, so they just didn't take one, so I don't have one. Originally, I was born as an identical twin, but my sister didn't make it. But like all identical twins, or just twins in general, because there's such a small space, twins are born kind of small, and I was barely like 5 pounds. So instead of having surgery, I had to be fattened up before I could have surgery. So for 2 months of my life, I was carried around with this split lip palate and being fed with a medicine dropper. Like, can you imagine feeding a baby with a medicine dropper? Yeah, no. At 2 months, I was finally fat enough. I had the surgery. Everything was Gucci for a while. I don't think I grew up like toddler range knowing that something was wrong with me. I didn't actually know something was wrong with me until 3rd grade. In the middle of my 3rd grade year, I switched schools. I went from a I went from a very mixed background school. It's very diverse. My dad's in the Air Force, so I went to this sheltered elementary school on base that just had people from everywhere. And we all had some sort of problem. So like nobody pointed anything out. We were just chilling. When I switched schools, I went to school in the hood. It was predominantly black. Next were Hispanics. And then I was also in the South. So the white people who were there were all about this heritage, not hate thing. Story for another time. But yeah. I didn't speak Spanish well enough to hang out with the Spanish kids. Black kids, wasn't black enough for them. And I definitely wasn't hanging out with heritage, not hate. Like, no. I was bullied so badly in school that, no, actually, rewind. I was actually supposed to skip grades into middle school, but my mom knew I was way too sensitive for that and way too naive, so she kept me in 3rd grade. And I want to say it was a good decision, but I'm not sure, because I was bullied so badly in this school that I used to cry every single day. I actually told my mom one time, and like I hurt her feelings so bad, so I feel really bad about it, but I told her that I'd rather had been born a quadriplegic than to be born with a cleft lip, cleft palate at 8 years old. At 8 fucking years old. I wanted to be paralyzed from the neck down instead of being born with a facial deformity. That's how bad I was being bullied. 2 friends, but it took a while for me to get those 2 friends. I didn't actually get my first friend until 4th grade, actually. Her name was Mai. She is amazing. She was a genuine soul back then. She's still a genuine soul now. I'm so freaking proud of her. She actually does hair, and like, she does hair, like weaves, regular hair, all that. So I'm gonna link her down below so you guys can go check her out and just show her some love, because she actually deserves it. Like, I can't stress enough how amazing she is. She introduced herself to me, and like, she never let me go. She was my best friend. We used to do everything together. We called ourselves M&M. She's the reason I made it through elementary school. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, we didn't have the same teacher, so I only saw her during like our electives. We didn't even have the same recess. So instead of going outside and playing for recess, I would always go to the nurse's office and pretend I was sick. I really wanted to go home, but instead it ended up being an everyday thing. What I would go there for: take a nap, get a little asthma treatment done, take a nap, and then I would skip math and end up back in class for history. But yeah, every day after lunch I was in the nurse's office, just because I didn't want to go to recess. Nothing really significant happened in middle school. The damage had already started, so I was really shy. I was really introverted. There were probably about 3 times I tried to insert myself into a friend group, and it just didn't work out. We had a version of recess in middle school, but they didn't call it recess because, you know, we're big kids. We don't do recess. So I think it's called like free period or free time or whatever, and it was after lunch. So every day after lunch, I would go hang out with the special needs kids. They had like this huge classroom, all these fun toys, and they just accepted me as I was. There was no social cues or anything I had to deal with. So for 3 years, that's what I did. Every day after lunch. Now, I was also put onto like the smart person track in middle school. So I was kind of also ostracized from like the general school population. They all started school at 8:30. My first class was at 7:30. I ended up being in the same classes with the same people for the next 3 years. I think the only thing that changed was that there was like an A and B section. But ultimately, A and B were together for 3 years. Like, I only saw these people. I only had contact with these people in school. And that trend kind of continued into high school. Now, high school was a big different story. I don't remember the first 2 years too much. I know I had one friend, my best friend ever. He's still my best friend to this day. His name's Devin. I love that dude so much. But it wasn't until my junior year that stuff really started to change. I didn't make friends because, like I said, I spent all my time by myself or with special needs kids, so I didn't have the social cues. I was just socially awkward, like through and through. Like, I didn't know how to do this. So there was a little bullying going around, but it's high school, so like, you don't call it bullying. It's just high school. And about junior year, this girl named CheRon, who ended up being my best friend, she kind of like took me under her wing. And like, I credit her for starting the process of me becoming who I am today. She was the first person that was like, what the fuck? You need to get a backbone. You can't let these people talk to you like that. You can say what you feel. It's okay. You need to stop being by yourself. She got me to join color guard, student government, encouraged me to start playing soccer again. Like, my motivator, like, I don't know what to call her besides a catalyst that I'm like internally grateful for. Without her, I would have done nothing my high school year. She made me go to football games. She introduced me to people. Like, what do I say about that besides like, thank you? Like, honestly, truly, thank you. Because she didn't have to do that. She really didn't. And I don't really think she understands how she affected me. And I haven't been able to like verbally express that. But if you're watching, CheRon, I love you so much. for everything that you started. So, I had my neck surgery when I was like 16-ish, 17-ish, somewhere around there. Basically, I went to prom, and other than being fat, I looked really cute, except when I looked at the pictures later on, my nose was shaped like a C. I don't know if you can tell it here, but I can tell a little bit still, but it's not as noticeable as it was before. I'm talking like Captain Hook noticeable. My nose was fucked up. So at 16, 17, I got my first nose job. And I thought it was fine until I went to go get my lip done the following year. I wanted my lip to look normal. And I went in for a consultation, and the doctor was like, whoever did your nose did it wrong. You're gonna come back to me and I'm gonna do it because this is how it should be done. And I left that doctor's office like so freaking mad. Like, how dare you? Like, you're so cocky. Like, I'm not coming back to you. I came back to him. And he did my nose job correctly, the way he said he would. I can tell you the difference, like, right off the back. Like, with my first nose job, there were no stents placed. Like, I woke up and I was fine. There wasn't, like, even a bandage or anything. When I left the second doctor, I had part of my ear Van Gogh'd because he took cartilage from my ear to place it into the bridge of my nose. I had stitches everywhere. I had, like, the cast and, like, stents of my nose that later he had to pull out. And let me tell y'all, getting stents pulled out your nose hurts like hell, but the first breath you take afterwards, oh my gosh, if I could just rewind and breathe that air, like that first air again, I would do it in like a heartbeat. Like, it was lovely. I ended up having to get stitches removed, but like, he went the whole 9 yards. And y'all see my nose? It's not like perfect, but compared to where it was, it's perfect. Like, I'm so happy with it. I don't think I'm gonna have another nose job. I know I'm not gonna have another nose job. If anything, I will actually go back and get my lip done like he suggested we do, but it's not like high on my priorities right now. Ooh, that's another surgery I forgot. When I was like 19, I had my last surgery. So we talked about how I had the split in my lip and the split in my palate. Obviously, there wasn't a tooth right here. It was just a hole. There was no bone in there. I wanted a tooth. I didn't want to keep walking around with this gaping hole, although the implant is a little short. I'm gonna get that elongated when Rona's over, but yeah. I ended up having a major surgery to correct that. I had to get my hip bone broken, to get bone marrow out, to be packed into my gum, had to let that heal, and then we had to go in and drill like the base of the implant in, and then I had to come back and get the implant in, which hurt like hell. Like, getting shots in your gum doesn't do shit. They be like, this is gonna numb you. Numb me where? Because it wasn't my mouth, I promise you. But yeah, those were the last surgeries I had. So altogether, I probably had like, what? I can't count. 4 surgeries for this, which is actually a lot more than they have these days. Now, when people have cleft lip, cleft palates at birth, they go ahead and try to correct the nose too as well, so they have fewer surgeries. But that's kind of a hit or miss because your face grows as you grow. So I'm actually really glad that like nobody touched that and waited till I got older. I have no regrets about any other surgeries. I'm happy with all of them. I was fat as hell. Starting in middle school, I learned that if I overate until my stomach hurt, I went straight to sleep. So that's what I did. And it wasn't until high school when I was like, why am I still fat? because I played sports year round. I said I did color guard, I did soccer, I did baseball until they forced me to do softball. I was a cheerleader, like I was active, but a bitch was still like 200 pounds for no reason. And then I noticed like one of my titties was like down here and the other one was like up here. And I kept saying like something was wrong, like my periods were off, like my body was just wrong. I knew it. And nobody wouldn't listen, like at all, until I was like 19 and I got diagnosed with PCOS and endometriosis, which I'll talk about those in a different video. But I just wanted to throw that in there, that I was fat as hell. So when y'all see these pictures from like my throwback, don't judge me, please. But anyway, so I was convinced South Carolina was what was wrong. That's where I was going to school at the time. That's when all the bullying was occurring. I just wanted to get out of the fucking state. If it wasn't being bullied by people who looked like me, I was being bullied by people who didn't look like me, who hated me because I looked like me. I was just tired of being hated on. So I figured a fresh start in a new city, new state was exactly what I needed. So I went to college out of state. Like I literally picked up everything, moved, and I wasn't any happier. I thought running away from my problems was solving my problems, and it literally wasn't. I went to this college that was bigger than anything I ever thought, and I was still socially awkward. I still didn't know social cues. I was still shy, introverted, and was even worse, like I didn't know anybody. Till this girl named Shar. Shar was like my CheRon, but in college. She did the same thing for me. We became best friends. She made me go out. We were at the mall like every weekend. We were going to all the student activities that I definitely wouldn't have went to without her. She was my ace. Like, that's what it was. She was my ace. And she also does a lot of shit. Like, too much to name. Like, she does desserts. She does party decorations. I'm going to link her stuff and her business down below so you guys can check her out. I actually use her for everything, every party I throw, all that. So I suggest y'all check her out and show her some love too, because she's a bomb ass businesswoman. I actually was so shy, like I would never speak in college, to the point where people would be like, you know, you can talk, you can say something. Nobody's going to attack you here. Residual effects. I don't really know. But like, I had no confidence. Like, every time I looked in the mirror, this is what I saw. So, yeah, I just didn't think I was cute. I was like down here compared to where I was. I'm in here because you can see that. I was lower than low. I lost track of the point of this whole storytelling thing. I just wanted to address the fact that I was born with a facial deformity called a cleft lip, cleft palate, and that I was bullied extensively for it, and it literally shaped who I became. And I had to unlearn a lot of things, like a lot of self-hatred, self-doubt about myself, gain confidence, which I'm still working on, honestly, just because this is what I see every day. Like, you'll notice in my makeup videos, I don't wear colored lipsticks or lip glosses for that matter, because I don't like drawing attention to it. A lot of my photos that don't get posted and some that do, you will notice my phone is like right here. Like half of my face is covered in some shape or form, because I'm still really self-conscious about this. But I'm working on it, obviously, or I wouldn't be sitting in front of this camera, starting this page, doing the most scary thing I've ever done in my life. Like, honestly, this scares me a lot. But we're taking it one day at a time. Trying to think to see if I missed anything before I end this video. I'm proud of myself. I didn't cry. I almost did. I don't know if you guys can like hear it in my voice, but like this whole entire time I've wanted to cry. It's a really hard subject for me. And like, I feel like it shouldn't be, but it is. It's really hard. When you're 8, you don't understand why people don't like you because of the way you were born. Like, I hate this shit. So yeah, that's kind of like the little background on that little story. I wouldn't change anything. I feel like if I wasn't bullied for having this facial deformity, I'd be a bitch. Like, my confidence, the way like my parents and my family like boost me up and gas me up all the time, I would think I was that bitch 24/7. And I'd probably be worse than a bitch. Like, I'd be the mean girl. But no, I think being hurt in that way emotionally is what makes me want to help other people. I always try to be the light in somebody else's life. I always try to help those when I can. And I always find the underdog or the most depressed person in the room. Somehow I'm just like drawn to them. You know how they say broken people like attract broken people? That doesn't really make sense to me, honestly, because they also say opposites attract. So if I'm broken and he's broken or she's broken, it shouldn't really repel. I don't know. That's just something to think. But I think the point is, I know how that feels. And I hate that feeling. And I don't want that feeling for anybody else. So therefore, I try to adopt them and gas them up the way my family gasses me up. I don't know what else to say, honestly. It's just my story.